What are we on now? 20 minutes? Yeah, perfect. The book of Job, the mighty book of Job, chapter 30. We'll probably jump back to chapter 29. Now it's chapter 30. The book of Job, chapter 30, verse 1. But now they that are younger than I have me in derision, whose fathers I would have disdained to have set with the dogs of my flock. Right? These people have us in derision when they're counted as less than dogs. We wouldn't even put them amongst our dogs, right? Where's the verse I want to do? I want to get verse 9. And now I am their song, yea, I am their byword. So now we're their byword, right? We are their song. They make fun of us, right? They mock us, right? Minstrel shows, right? You can read old signs from America, and it says no Negroes, no Mexicans, no dogs. Right? You can look that up. Search those exact words, you'll see it. Right? They can't be looking at dogs, man. But they're less than dogs. So at the end of the day, it's just the envy that they have for us, right? And they want to be us, and they want us to be them, right? This is what it is right now. Hey, they were making proverbs and bywords against us, mocking us, making fun of us. We're going to go and do the exact same thing to them, right? Do that to them. Because bear in mind, we're going to give them double. We're not going to do all the disgusting, horrible things that they did as far as like abusing us, you know. Like if you read about Madame Laura Ray, or they call her Delphine, you believe in the Bible? Do you believe in the Bible? Yeah? What's your background if you don't mind me asking? What's your background if you don't mind me asking? Nationality? Also, you'd probably be a Cushite. You know Cush? Yeah, so if you know about the book of Genesis, you have yes, you have so what, are you Bantu or are you Bantu? No. What tribe are you? What tribe are you? Nine tribes. Right? I don't even know too much about it.
Yeah,
I know,
really, you need to know we are Christian country.
Yeah. Is it 50? What, 50? Oh, cool. Well, according to the Bible, you're most likely to be a Cushite. They come from Ham. They were the people who had.
I don't understand what you say.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, you'd be a Cushite. Your people would have had the Babylonian kingdom. You know, Nimrod. He was a Cushite. He was a mighty man, right?
What's your religion?
My religion. I'm an Israelite. Hebrew Israelite.
What does that mean?
Like I'm a Hebrew and I'm an Israelite. I don't have a religion. I'm a Christian because I follow Christ. I'm not in Christianity. Basically, what I believe is this is the people on this side, the Israelites. So you see, like I was saying about Hamites. So not all people in Africa are the same people. So the Israelites, Hamites, different people. Right? These are your Israelites. These are your Hamites. Right? So you might be an Israelite, but most likely you'll be a Hamite. Right? Different people. So basically what I'm teaching is the children of Israel, and the kingdom of heaven is for them. We're going to take these other nations into captivity.
But heaven is for us as well. By Jesus Christ.
Those are the Israelites who believe. The rest of them are going into captivity. Anyway, so... What was I actually saying? I got so sidetracked. I was in the middle of something too. Yeah, we won't be doing the disgusting things that they did to us. You know, the back breaking and stuff. You know, if you read about, I don't even want to call her Madame Lola Ray, she's not Madame. She's called Delphine Lola Ray. You hear about her House of Horrors? What she was doing to her slaves? I don't even want to say it right now because it's sick. It's actually sick. Like, she was so vicious that a young girl brushing her hair and accidentally caught a knot, pulled her hair by accident. This young girl was so conscious of how vicious this woman was because she witnessed how sharp her teeth are, how vicious she is, and how horrible she is. As soon as this girl did this, she didn't hesitate to run away. Not run away from the plantation, no, she ran around the house away from her. She ran all the way up to the top of the house because she knew she was going to get some kind of brutal punishment. And it's not known whether she fell or whether she jumped to escape punishment. But the bottom line is she ended up on the roof and fell to her death. Whether that was intentional or not, that's what happened because she knew just from pulling on this devil's dog hair, catching her knot while she was brushing it, she knew that she was in for a harsh punishment. To avoid that, she went to the roof. Whether she jumped or she fell is not known. We don't want to say that she jumped. Can't bear false witness against the sister, but it's the sad truth of what happened. It's horrible to think about, it's horrible to speak about. Other things too, like that's just one thing. Some of the sick things that she did. And this is the time of what do you call that guy? That Mormonism? They called him what's good? Yeah, what do they call the guy? He might be a jester when we put him in shame. He might be a jester. He ain't heard of a jester before, like a clown. See that? When we have them in chains, when we have them in slavery, he can make us laugh, right? When we put them in captivity, he can be the funny guy. He can make us laugh. When we make up proverbs against them and put these people into captivity, he can be the funny man, and he can be a jester, right? That's what we used to do in the time of the time when the Moors ruled Europe, when the Dark Ages, when the Southern tribes ruled Europe. We would have these damn devils as jesters. When you look at jesters, that's who they were. More time. They were the people who would act a fool to entertain the king. Devils like that, which want to be funny all the time, base men like that, they'll be damn jesters. They'll be damn the people making us laugh. They'll be the people who will say, hey, you were on top of the game. You have the kingdom, but now look at you, you're in subjection. And we'll be making them to juggle and do all kinds of funny stuff. Funny spirit. So he can be a funny man. Excuse me, believe in the Bible? You know, people don't know, they don't consider. Your hair's cool.
Are you okay for me taking your photograph?
Go on.
All I do, I'll show you what I do. Well, this is the first one I've taken. Like, just round in the streets, and I just take round
Take a
pictures.
picture.
Yeah. I mean, don't worry, it's like fine. You know.
Nah, it's cool. I'm on camera anyway, so you might as well.
Yeah, but it's literally just a.
We get a lot of people, you know, who come by and they get a bit scared about the camera. It's like, well, you're on camera all day, every day.
Exactly that, and it's just capturing a bit of. It's a return ticket to a moment in life.
Right, well that's it.
That's
Stamping it in
it's
his
more
video.
about you having your camera that I'm interested. You know
Yeah.
that.
Oh, yeah,
that
yeah.
is the picture.
Yeah, cool. You
I'll
can
show
go
you the
ahead.
picture as well.
Alright, do you want me to pose or just carry on?
No, carry on.
That's really, yeah. Cool. So yeah, basically, what was I going into? I was going into, when we have them in subjection, we'll have these funny man, these people who can be funny, act a fool, act like a clown, right? And he has that semi spirit on it, bro. He might just be a jester in the kingdom. When we have them in dominion, we say, hey, you need to have the kingdom now, look at this. We might be able to walk in, make him do, backflips and juggling and jumping through hoops and stuff. No worries. So basically, just every day, I can't be a hypocrite. Cool coloured hair. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's so dumb when they colour their hair like that. Cool colour though. I like. The reason I say it's cool is the gradient, how it changed from like blue to green. But yeah, basically, can't be a hypocrite. So basically, yeah. Christian. Where's the fringes? Where's the fringes if you're a Christian? For those who don't know, that Christian comes from Christianos, means to follow Christ. But anyway, can't be a hypocrite. People want to take pictures. A lot of times, yeah. Down the camp, I used to do this. To say it's not a zoo. Catch people taking pictures. But I've come to the realization that we can't be hypocrites about this thing, man. So, when people want to get looked out about the camera, and get looked out about the camera, you're on camera every single day. Right? This is just going on a small YouTube channel that currently has 37 subscribers. Don't get much views. Most views we got 2,000 on one video. I don't think any other videos got above 5. This is a tiny YouTube channel, minuscule. Nobody's watching these videos. Nobody's watching them, right? And you want to be upset about the camera. But you're on camera for the sake of condemnation every day, so that Esau can get up with you if he needs to. You can trust that they're not doing anything weird with this footage on the building. You can't trust that someone reading the Bible is got honest intentions with his camera. Right, like I say, it's a tiny YouTube channel, bro. You appear on this camera, it's irrelevant to your life. Literally. More time. Because like I said earlier, someone just happened to see it, see some of the, but that's just a little thing. The bottom line is, we're on camera every day, every single day. So if she wants to take a picture, I'm not going to stop her. That is what it is. So, now if there's rude intention, like I said, always deal cordially with people, deal cordially, but when people want to be contentious, that's when it gets rude, right? As for that, she was nice enough to ask, and just pull up and start taking pictures. And that is probably the main problem too. Especially at camp in London, especially when it's all the brothers and they see the spectacle, they see the strangeness of the salvation, they see Jacob all together. Then all they think is, oh, it's just a group of wogs. That's what they think. So they start taking pictures like it's some kind of zoo, like it's something amazing. And they don't ask. That's the thing, they don't ask. They just take a picture like we're a zoo, like an attraction. This woman was kind of pulling out. That's why we're damn cordial. So, the reason I'm referencing this is because a lot of Israelites, oh, you was being, you know what I mean? They get all this, like, the most unnecessary bullshit. The most unnecessary bullshit. Anyway, not to take away the lesson. How long was it left anyway? 10 minutes? I'm not sure if it's worth diving into Job chapter 29. Whether we should just knock out some of Job chapter 30. I mean, it must be like 8 minutes. Basically, yeah. No, we can do it. We'll do it. We've got time. Job chapter 29 is not long at all, so we'll jump into it. This is Job chapter 29, verse 1. Do you want to start one? Yeah. Moreover, Job continued his parable and said, "Oh, that I were as in months past, as in the days when God preserved me." Right? Should have stopped sister there. She was looking. When the candle, so it's basically saying, after everything that's gone on, he wishes he could go back to how he used to be. Right? He wishes he could go back to the prosperous days before his children died, before he lost his substance, before all these things. That's what it says. When his candle shined upon my head, and when by his light I walked through darkness, as I was in the days of my youth, when the secret of God was upon my tabernacle, when the Almighty was yet with me, when my children were about me. And that's actually sad to read. When you actually think about what Job is saying here, that's so depressing, bro. It's like he's actually mourning the death of his children right here. If only I could go back to the days where I had my children with me. Imagine you real life, bro, look at storybooks, you know. This is history, this happened. It's a real man. Imagine you really lost your children, and in the way that he lost them, and you were innocent too? Bro, you've got to really consider this is a real living man. This man lived, and this happened. He spoke these words, he felt this way. Job is real life mourning his children right here, but this is your forefather. So we need to have compassion when we read these things too. Like he's mourning the old days. It said, when the Almighty was yet with me, when my children were about me, when I washed my steps with butter, and the rock poured out the rivers of oil, meaning he had all the abundance, right? When I went out of the gate through the city, when I prepared my seat in the street, the young men saw me and hid themselves, and the aged arose and stood up. So the young men hid from Job, right? They hid themselves because they knew he was a mighty man, right? And then it says that the aged men stood up, meaning the aged arose and stood up, meaning they showed up to show him respect, right? You don't stay sitting around when a king like that rose up, right? They stood up to show him their respect, right? It goes on to say, the princes refrained talking and laid their hand on their mouth. The nobles held their peace, and their tongue cleaved to the roof of their mouth. Right? So even these mighty people, they didn't even speak when Job was talking. When Job was talking, you wanted to listen because he was a wise man. When Job got to talking, people were listening. When Job was speaking, you weren't talking over him. You were listening to what he had to say. Because Job was a wise, mighty man. Right? It goes on to say, when the ear heard me, then it blessed me, and when the eye saw me, it gave witness to me. Meaning people looked at Job and they walked down the street, they gave witness to him. They kept their eye on him, they went, that's Job, that's the mighty Job. Right? When the ear heard, they said, oh, God bless Job. God bless Job. He's a wise man. Right? And that's what we're dealing with here. So, let's get back into... Let's carry on. because I delivered the poor that cried, and the fatherless, and him that had none to help him. The blessing of him that was ready to perish came upon me, and I caused the widow's heart to sing for joy. So Job was charitable, man. He was showing love, helping people. It says, I put on righteousness, and it clothed me. My judgment was as a robe and a diadem. I was eyes to the blind, and feet was I to the lame. I was a father to the poor, and the cause which I knew not I searched out. And I break the jaws of the wicked, and plucked the spoil out of his teeth. So Job was dealing was he was helping blind people walk, guiding them down the street. Feet to people who couldn't walk, he was putting them around his shoulder and walking them, right? He was helping people, but he was also putting the wicked to shame, destroying the wicked, right? Breaking the jaws of the wicked, taking the spoil, right? He was robbing the wicked after destroying them, right? It says, then I said, I shall die in my nest, and I shall multiply my days as the sand. My root was spread out by the waters, and the dew lay all night upon my branch. My glory was fresh in me, and my bow was renewed in my hand. Unto me men gave ear, and waited, and kept silence at my counsel. So people were listening to Job. When Job spoke, you were listening. He was a wise man. What are you eating there? That was good. What you got? What? Oh, from the stand right there, yeah? Cool, I might check that out later. Smells good too. Yeah? It says, after my words they spake not again, and my speech dropped upon them. And they waited for me as for the rain, and they opened their mouth wide as for the better rain. The latter rain, Salakia. If I laughed on them, they believed it not, and the light of my countenance they cast not down. I chose out their way, and sat chief, and dwelt as a king in the army, as one that comforteth the mourners. So that's Job 29. The reason I read this before Job chapter 30 is to show the contrast. He's talking about his prosperity here. Then he goes on to say in Job chapter 30 verse 1, there's another thing to remember, is the Bible was stratified later, right? It was a recent history where that happened, a modern convenience. It's a modern convenience that we can locate things. It wasn't always book, chapter, verse. It was stratified into that, so that we could search the scriptures more easily, so we could navigate the scriptures better. It's a modern convenience. I think it was around the time of the King James Bible when that happened. But back in the day, it was just a scroll, it was a whole writing, like Paul's letters. Paul's letters were just letters. You don't put chapter 1, I've arrived at college, verse this, verse that. Chapter 2, the local facilities. Chapter 3, you don't do it like that. You write a letter, you just write the letter, right? Same thing here. When Isaiah wrote his scroll, he just wrote his scroll, right? So, like when Christ was searching the book of Isaiah for Isaiah 61, he wasn't going, right, let me get Isaiah chapter 61 verse 1. No, he went through the scroll and found it. Because it wasn't a thing back then where it was chapters and verses. So what we've got to understand is when we read Job 29, in the contrast to Job chapter 30, they weren't chapters when it was written. So you literally just read it straight off. You can just reel it off like that. Excuse me, do you believe in the Bible? Sister carry in the bag. So look over, this is not interesting. See, so my people don't know, they don't consent. So when we read the contrast, you've got to imagine it just goes straight back into Job chapter 30. So he goes on to say, but now they that are younger than I have me in derision, whose fathers I would have disdained to have set with the dogs of my flock. So he wouldn't have even set his people with the dogs of his flock. I'll carry on going. It's a thing where you might go outside and Esau's abusing the dog, but it's also a thing where we just count them less than dogs. They are less than dogs, right? We wouldn't even put them amongst his dogs. It says, yea, whereto might the strength of their hands profit me, in whom old age was perished. You say, look, I'm old, and even the strength of their hands won't profit me. I could do a better job than them, right? They're weak, because what? Two manner of people, the elder, one was stronger than the other. The elder preferred the younger, right? It says, for want and famine they were solitary, fleeing into the wilderness in former times, desolate and waste. Once again, you can read about this in Malachi chapter 1, but we're not going to go into it, we don't have time. They used to flee into the wilderness, that's where they ended up in the caves, in Mount Seir. So even in the time of, even in the Dark Ages, they were living in the woods, right? They were living in caves, in the woods, right? They were called the wild men, right? The wild men of the woods. You can look them up. They'll come up under mythology and they'll add like details like they had horns and this and that. That's not true. There is truth to it, but they mashed it up a bit so that it wouldn't seem believable. But the Edomites were the wild men of the woods. It's considered mythology from European Dark Ages. But you can look it up. that's who the little wild men of the woods were. They were Edomites, right? So basically, what we're dealing with here is these base people now have Job in the vision, right? Now they have him as their son. Now they're laughing at him, right? It says, for want and famine they were solitary, fleeing into the wilderness in former times, desolate and waste, who cut up mallows by the bushes and juniper roots for their meat. So they were eating down roots, right? Bushes. They weren't eating food. They weren't cooking food. They were eating roots, gnawing on trees and stuff. Like they were real life running around on all fours like dogs. You can look it up. They did this multiple times in history. They weren't eating it because they liked it. They were eating it because they didn't know any better. That's what they thought they were supposed to eat. And that's what they thought they had available. They didn't know how to. They didn't know how to. They were desolate and waste. They were wasted. Everything was gone from them. Their understanding, like when Nebuchadnezzar became like into an animal, it's the same thing. They didn't know how to hunt for their food and how to eat actual plants that you can eat. They were eating roots and stuff, and down bushes, right? So it says you can look up a juniper root, a mallow root, and you see what they were eating. It's disgusting. It says they were driven forth from among men. They cried after them as after a thief. So they were driven away from men. They were driven out of the town, right? They cried after them as after a thief, right? How do you cry for a thief? You cry like, get! No. So you cry, get out of here! Don't come back around! Shout after thieves like that. I wanted to use something funny, that's why I had to start from. Yeah, shout for them, get out! Don't be coming back around here. You chase them down and you cry after thieves like that, right? So you're like, get the hell on, kick rocks! Don't come back here. That's how you do your people. You shout at them like that. That's what they were doing to these Edomites. Right? Driven forth from among men. People threw them out of town. They're coming around stinking, abusing animals, probably looking at your kids weird. Let's imagine your wife is planting a nice little front garden and they're eating all the roots. Right? Of course you cried after them like in the deeds, right? It says to dwell in the cliffs of the valleys, in the caves of the earth and in the rocks. So we all know that the Edomites are cavemen. They walk around now like there's something great, and they're gods because they have the image of Jesus Christ and all that stuff. And they walk around and they're in rulership, but they don't even realize they were the cavemen. They used to live in caves, dwell in rocks, like dirty animals, and they used to stink. They still do stink. They're like hairy beasts, right? Well, I mean, where's Joshua? Captain Joshua is always saying, oh, the hairy beasts. That's what they were. They were hairy, damn dogs. That's what they were. Living in damn caves. It says, among the bushes they brayed. Now if you just look up donkey braying on YouTube, you'll see what a donkey braying sounds like. They were making animalistic noises. They weren't speaking words, language. They were making... Shut up. They were making noises, right? They were making animalistic sounds, grunting, braying and letting out these horrible shrieks. Right? They were like animals, they were babes. It says they, under the nettles they were gathered together. They were children of fools. So when you see them walking around with no understanding, right? I did them out earlier, walking around wandering. Two of them, one of them was stood lingering, one of them was wandering, making babbling noises, drunk in the street, right? And when you see these homeless Edomites that look too comfortable, they're children of fools, base men of the earth, right? It says, they were children of fools, yea, children of base men. They were viler than the earth, meaning that dirt and rock is worth more than them. They were viler than the earth. The earth, dirt and rock and mud was worth more than these people, right? It says, and now am I their song, yea, I am their byword. They abhor me, they flee far from me, and spare not to spit in my face, because they have loosed my cord and afflicted me, they have also let loose the bridle before me. Right? So that's the deal, that's what's happened here. We used to be so prosperous, now we're their song, and now they make fun of us. Psalm 119 verse 75 goes on. Since we were dealing with Job, because he said that he afflicted him. You know, we obviously read in Isaiah 2 and things like that, or in 1 Peter, that we need to be glad when we go through these tribulations, to take it cheerfully. And when we get afflicted, because watch this, what Job's all about. Where was it? God. The book of Psalms, chapter 119, verse 65. Thou hast dealt well with thy servant, O Lord, according unto thy word. Teach me good judgment and knowledge, for I have believed thy commandments. Before I was afflicted, I went astray, but now have I kept thy word. Thou art good and doest good. teach me thy statutes, right? So he said, before I was afflicted, I went astray. So you need to be glad when you get afflicted because it means the Most High has corrected you. Now you can walk properly after the Most High. Now that you've been afflicted, stop going astray. That's why we get chastised. That's why we get punished, right? To build character. So that when we get afflicted, we can stop doing wickedness and come back to righteousness. So you need to be counting glad that you go through these diverse temptations, these afflictions, all these things. Because at the end of the day, when we get acts, and then we're going to close out. Acts chapter 14. I could have sworn it was chapter 14. Where is it? Oh, it's because I'm in Matthew. No, hold on. I can't still find it. It's a classic and I used to love this book, but I still do. I can't find it. I haven't read it for a while. Give me 1 second, I'll find it. Can't find it. Basically, what I'm trying to find is one scripture. I can't remember where it's at. It says, exhorting the disciples, confirming the souls of the disciples, exhorting them to continue in the faith, and that we must through much tribulation enter into the kingdom of God. Into the kingdom of God, yeah. So it's saying that through much tribulation we'll enter into the kingdom. It's not an easy ride. It's like just frolicking through days and fields and it's all sunshine and lollipops and rainbows. No. We have to go through tribulation to enter into the kingdom. I wish I could remember that scripture. It's like, in many days. Let's see. I think just grab one. No. Sure, it's up chapter 14. Oh, kind of is, it is. I was thinking verse 24, verse 22. Acts chapter 14, verse 22. Confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith, and that we must through much tribulation enter into the kingdom of God. So it's not an easy ride, you're not frolicking through days and fields, it's all sunshine, rainbows and lollipops. If you want to get into the kingdom of heaven, you have to go through tribulation. You have to go through hard times to build character, right? Make our faith perfect. And that's what we have to go through if we want to enter into the kingdom of God. Right? You have to go through tribulation. That just is what it is. If you're not going through tribulation, it's not a good sign. If you're having a nice, easy ride in this thing, it's not a good sign. And you might be out of this thing soon. But with that, we're going to close out. We give all praise, all honor, and all glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, Mahashem, Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. Shalom.